All right, my friend. I woke up this morning a
Hmm.
little tired
Yes.
after staying up to watch the Golden Knights win the Stanley Cup. Yes, wearing the gold to celebrate.
Yeah, that was a nice touch. It was a great night, and I think we're in the same boat. It just felt like it to me. It felt like there was the circle was completed, right? To where they started and how they started, the circumstances. 1 October, both you and I were there and covering it, and those dark days and how god awful that time was, and like the Golden Knights really weren't kind of a thing. Let's be honest at that juncture. People I remember
N-
were not
No.
sold on the name. Like they were like, "Is this going to work?" It was
Right. Go
yeah,
back to 2016, 17 when the team was created.
yeah,
There was some uncertainty and my gosh, the impact that they had on our community was I've never seen anything like it. I've never seen
yeah.
anything like it.
It was incredible the way it unified the city, and I think people who are outside really don't get it, because I've been in Philadelphia and I've been around when the Phillies won the championship, and it was great, and it was wonderful. And I'm not taking any away from that '08 Phillies team and what it did for the city, and each championship I think can kind of have its own unique mark. But I think the inaugural season of VGK and the way they started was really a unique way in sort of sports history, in the way that it provided a relief, a distraction, a comfort, a unifying force at a time which the city was just, it was devastating, right? Because at that time we're still, unfortunately, going through trying to figure out exactly how many victims that were there, and victim stories and survival story, and people in long lines donating blood, and those were the stories that were just prevailing.
I know it sounds like we're going off on a tangent, but you really have to understand what Las Vegas was going through in 2017
Yeah.
to understand the impact the Knights had and how they brought the community together and why this victory means just so much for everybody who's been watching them.
Yeah, I mean, you think about it, and it's just 58 lives were lost in the immediate aftermath of the shooting, and two lives more were lost in the subsequent years after that, and the devastation that was very, very real. And the Golden Knights became this ignition of community, of belief, and of joy, and in a way that obviously no one really saw coming. And watching them win last night, I was just thinking of that, right? I was thinking of how,
Yes.
man, 6 years that they really did it. They really did it. As heartbreaking as it was, obviously, that first year for them to come up short in the finals, and how tough that was to swallow. This kind of feels just it's just kind of perfect, right? In the 6 years that
Yes.
they did it, and they still have the six members of the original team there, and the way they came out on ice to start the game last night was a really fitting touch.
Those players, I don't think any of them are from Las Vegas, if I remember, at least not back then,
Yeah.
correctly. But dang it, if they were not, they felt like locals. They were at those blood donation drives. They were at all of the rallies and everything that was being done. Immediately, they were locals.
Yeah, and it was Derek England who was kind of took on that
Yes.
mantle, right? Who spoke,
Yes.
and he was here before with the other hockey league that was here. But last night was so much fun, and we just got to enjoy being in that
Yes.
moment, right? Even if you're kind of like a casual fan, it was just, yeah, they did it. They kind of completed what felt like an unfinished mission after that first year.
And man, we couldn't be prouder. You cannot go outside in Las Vegas one day and not see someone wearing some sort of Knights gear. And that started right from the get go and obviously continues to be the case today. I'm in Austin. I'm not even in Vegas. I'm so jealous that I'm not in Vegas. I want to be there for the parade. But, I was telling you that my girlfriend is on her honeymoon, woke up at 3 a.m. because she could not miss the game that maybe that they were going to win on. And they watched it on their
Yeah.
honeymoon in the middle of the night. And that is the impact that the Knights had on Las Vegas.
Yeah, and you talk about, Vegas, born, and people say, well, what does that mean? But here in Vegas, it's such a town full of transplants, right? And I'm one,
Same.
and you meet the person's like, I was born and raised here, and the line is always, oh, you're the one. you know, but to have a team, you talk to people who are certainly born and raised here. You talk to people who have lived in the Vegas area for a couple of decades, and they'll tell you, man. I mean, it was like the idea of having a pro sports franchise here was just dead. You just didn't really talk about it. This was the gambling, city, and none of these leagues wanted to touch that Vegas, and so to have Vegas born sports franchise, a major league sports franchise started here is really kind of what it just ingratiates the Knights in this community in a way that I think, listen, all due respect to the Raiders and everything that they've done and continue to do, it's just the Knights have a place in our community that is just special. It just is.